40 years ago, there was a man named Milton Friedman and a group of people at the Chicago School. Although it's very important because Milton Friedman does not deserve the bad rap that he gets from some people, and I'll tell you why. Milton Friedman and his friends came up with this idea of trickle-down economics. So before that, and I'm not romanticizing American capitalism before then, so this is a generalization, but it's significant enough. Before that, like when I was a child, the American corporation was expected to care. So if somebody had worked at the corporation for decades, the business was actually expected to care whether or not they had a dignified retirement. With the advent of trickle-down economics, which was backed by billions of dollars, they got a president, they had huge amounts of foundations, and it's just unbelievable the amount of money that went into this. And it blasted itself onto the consciousness of the American people. And it was the idea that if all the corporation had to do was consider fiduciary responsibility to its stockholders, get government out of the way, those pesky regulations, like safety and health, they were called job-killing regulations, that all the corporation had to do was make money, then even if that was at the expense of the other stakeholders, at the expense of the workers, at the expense of the environment, at the expense of the community, at the expense of the safety of the workplace, then that would be good, see, because all the money they would make from that, they would create more jobs, and that would trickle down, and it would lift all boats. It's been 40 years. After 40 years, I think you can say the jury is in. It has not only not lifted all boats, it has left millions of people without even a life raft. It has created the largest income inequality in almost 100 years. It has completely devastated our middle class, and it has left 40% of all Americans living with chronic economic anxiety. Now, one thing I want to say, going back to Milton Friedman, I find this fascinating. Milton Friedman himself, the main articulator of trickle-down economics, also said, but of course, you have to have a universal basic income so it will be safe for people. But they left that part out. So this is about writing a capitalism that's, like I said, it's just a virulent strain of capitalism that has so gone off the rails with any kind of ethic or moral consideration, and actually justifies that. And you now have some very powerful capitalist voices. You have Ray Dalio, Jeremy Grantham, the Business Roundtable. There are some very, very powerful, hugely successful capitalist leaders who know that they need to write this. They know they need to course correct, because let me tell you what they know. They know that if they don't course correct, it won't be Bernie or Elizabeth or Marianne bringing them down. If they don't course correct, you have an entire younger generation of kids coming up who themselves, if this stuff doesn't get righted, they themselves will storm the Bastilles. Because these young people are already saying, what has global capitalism ever done for me? These young people are already saying, what am I supposed to be so scared of in socialism, the free healthcare or the free